Hello everyone. Today we are going to read chapter number 13, Role of State Government in Health Sector. Firstly, defining health, which means what is health. Whenever we think about health, we always assume that being healthy means being free from all kinds of illness, diseases or injuries. However, the concept of health needs to be more defined. Like the concept of health hold within complete physical, mental and social well-being of an individual. Or in other words, we can say being healthy means the availability of clean and safe drinking water, adequate amount of food every day, proper sanitization facilities, sufficient space to live in and a clean environment to an individual. Health is a primary right and it has been given due importance by the Constitution of India through Article number 21. Next is parameters of being healthy, means classification of being healthy. How we can say a person is a healthy person. If a person is having all these things, then it means that person is leading a healthy life. Firstly, safe drinking water, active and healthy lifestyle, hygienic conditions and good living environment, proper balanced diet. If a person is consuming all these things, it means that person is leading a healthy life. So all these things are essential for all the human beings, whether they are living in a city or in a rural area. They need safe drinking water, proper balanced diet. Along with this, their lifestyle should be active and healthy, means the place where hygienic conditions and good living environment means the place where they are living, that place should be neat and clean and the environment should be good for their living. Next is healthcare facilities in India. India has achieved a great success in providing healthcare facilities to the citizens since independence. Today we have the largest number of medical colleges in the world and we are also among the largest producers of doctors. Approximately 15,000 doctors qualify every year from the medical colleges. The system of healthcare is a chain wherein hospitals, clinics, doctors, laboratories, etc. work in an organized way to provide healthcare services and facilities to the population. India's healthcare system is broadly categorized into public and private healthcare services. Public healthcare comprises government hospitals, dispensaries and primary health centers, and private healthcare comprises private hospitals and clinics. First is public healthcare system. It is committed to the welfare of the public, like governments in all countries take up the task of providing healthcare facilities to their citizens. The public healthcare system is so called because it is set up for the public by the government with funds that are created from taxes paid by the public. In India, the government has set up an elaborate healthcare system covering both rural and urban areas. This consists of dispensaries, hospitals, medical colleges, hospitals, etc. Through the public healthcare services, the government fulfills one of its primary duties, that is of ensuring good health to all the people, and irrespective of their social economic background, means it is for all, whether they are poor or rich or they belong to any family background. Thus, these facilities are meant for all. Through the public healthcare services and facilities, the government is able to prevent the spread of communicable diseases such as malaria, tuberculosis, jaundice, cholera, diarrhea, etc. Thereby promoting community health or public health, government has started few vaccinations like the polio vaccination program by the government public health care checkup routines. Government has started these things to ensure public health care. The public health care system in India covers a great part of the country at different levels. The healthcare system is managed by different organizations under the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Next is structure of public health care. The public healthcare system in India covers a great part of the country, so it is managed by different organizations and it is divided at different levels by the healthcare system and the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. First is national level. The national level healthcare is under the supervision of the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Next is state level. The state level healthcare falls under the State Department of Health and Family Welfare and it is managed by a minister with a secretary. That person is called Health Minister. Each state has specialty hospitals in large cities to take care of the territory healthcare. After that, district level. The district level healthcare is under the District Health and Family Welfare Department and the head of this department is the District Health Superintendent or District Health Officer. Specialty hospitals at every district level take care of secondary health care. Next is community level. At subdivision level, a community health center is established just to look after a population of 80,000 to 1,20,000 and it is to provide the primary health care services under qualified doctors. Then last is primary level. In villages, one primary health center covers a population of about 30,000 or more. Many rural dispensaries have been upgraded to create these public healthcare centers. In each public healthcare center, one medical officer, two health assistants and health workers and supporting staff is available. Apart from this, the Anganwadi workers take care of rural healthcare at the village level. Next is objectives and functions of public health care. The objectives and functions of public health care systems are to safeguard public health care, to prevent spread of communicable diseases like malaria, tuberculosis, diarrhea, cholera, jaundice, etc. To provide quality treatment for all kinds of illness at low prices or free of cost to those who are unable to pay their bills. Next is to provide primary, secondary and tertiary health services. So these are the functions or the objectives of public healthcare to provide everybody the proper healthcare system. Thus, public healthcare facilities should provide quality healthcare services to all so that even the poor people can have their proper treatment. The people are expected to cooperate with the government to successfully fight against particular diseases. The Pulse Polio campaign, directly observed treatment, short courses, campaign for tuberculosis, campaign for protection against HIV, and so on are some of the examples of successful campaigns launched by government with the support of the people. Next is steps taken by the government to provide public health care to everyone, to all the people living in the country. It is a duty of government to provide healthcare facilities to every citizen of India and to ensure their well-being and welfare. This includes the primary healthcare services, life-saving treatments and emergency treatments. The Constitution of India guarantees every citizen the right to life. It means the government has to ensure the safety of life of every individual. The government provide the best, adequate and necessary treatment to every citizen to save their lives. So, certain healthcare policies were adopted by the government to provide best and timely healthcare services to the people of India. These policies are, first one is a national health policy. It was adopted by the Parliament of India in 1983 and amended in 2002. It aims at bringing the public hospitals at par with the private healthcare undertaking, providing them with skilled staff, qualified doctors, proper buildings and sophisticated equipments, proper equipments, tools which they need. The next one is the government has made internship in rural areas compulsory for medical students to get an MBBS degree. It is compulsory for them so that in order to provide for universal and better healthcare services in rural areas. And the third one is the Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana. It was started by the government to promote universal health for the unprivileged section by providing premium-free insurance for hospitalization both in public and private hospitals. It is especially for those who are the weaker section in our country, those who are unable to get their treatment because of financial problems. So it is for those, government has provided them a premium free insurance in the hospitals both in public and private. Next is private healthcare system in India. India has one of the largest private healthcare system in the world. Private healthcare system comprises private hospitals, clinics and healthcare centers. As the name suggests, private hospitals are set up and managed by private organizations. Some of these organizations also have ventured into the manufacturing and marketing of medicines and other healthcare products. Individual doctors also run private clinics. Private hospitals like Apollo, Fortis and Max Healthcare have gained international reputation and recognition for their state-of-the-art facilities, diagnostic centers and medical expertise. Their technology and procedures are at par with hospitals in developed countries. Privately run medical shops, laboratories and clinics are rapidly growing in the country due to the booming medical tourism. In the rural areas also we find private medical practitioners running private clinics. Some of the practitioners are registered medical practitioners. They are trained to treat some common ailments like fever, malaria, digestive disorders, etc. Next is comparison between public and private healthcare, or we can say the differentiate between public and private healthcare system. The most common difference is the public healthcare systems are managed by government hospital dispensaries, clinics and public healthcare system, and private healthcare system is managed by individuals or private persons. So we are going to do the comparison between public and private healthcare centers with a small story. Suppose a girl, Sita, is shivering with fever again. She screamed, "I am not feeling well." Her husband, Swaminathan, a worker at a local factory, he quickly gets through the doctor with their little girl and jumps onto a rickshaw on their way to hospital. They pass by the nearby big government hospital, but there was a long queue of patients waiting outside the hospital corridor. So the wife of the Swaminathan said, We will get late, and her condition, her means their daughter, and her condition is worsening very badly. Let's go to the private hospital nearby. Swaminathan told Mohini, to her wife. But the treatment there will be expensive. How will we afford it? Asked Mohini with concern. Yes, I know, but I will borrow some money from the sage tomorrow. But replied by Swaminathan. About 20 minutes later, they were standing in a sparkling clean corridor of a private hospital. Sita was taken to a room and stretched out with care on a bed. An intravenous solution was administered to her and a number of clinical tests were conducted. A doctor attended to the girl. He examined the clinical report thoroughly. You will be fine in few days. Take these medicines. You reached us on time, said the doctor. Here are the bills for the medical test reports and the charges for admission. Please pay them by tomorrow, he continued. And yes, but these medicines and take them as per my prescription and you will recover in 2 days, said the doctor. Are all these medicines necessary, doctor? Asked Swaminathan, the father of that girl Sita. Oh yes, they are necessary if you want a quick recovery. Good day, replied the doctor. Swaminathan was left with the bill amounting to 10,000 plus and expense on the medicines costing between 2 to 3,000. The amount was equivalent to 3 months' salary because they were from a poor family. They cannot afford this much of bill. How will I be able to pay this amount of money? Will my child's treatment get discontinued because of my inability to pay for the bills? He wondered dejectedly because he was very worried about that if he will not pay the bill, this much of bill, then the treatment will not be continued and his daughter will not be fine quickly. So this is a comparison. It means in the private hospitals, doctors, they conduct a lot of tests and they for the admission they charge a huge amount and in the public hospitals, in the public dispensaries, there is no charges for admission, or if they took any admission fee, then that is very small. Every person can afford. And in the public healthcare centers, there is a section where needy person or the poor person can have their treatment free of cost or with the very little amount. So this is a main comparison between public and private healthcare centers. In public healthcare centers, we have to wait for hours because in public healthcare centers a lot of people go there. So a patient should have to wait for few hours or few minutes because they took the test or the treatment turn by turn. But in private healthcare system, they are having a large hospitals and the number of patients is less because only the rich person can afford this much of amount, this much of bill for the treatment in the private healthcare centers. Next is healthcare facilities for all, a challenging task ahead. Although India is having some of the best medical institutions in the world, but still it faces some problems when it comes to accessibility and availability of healthcare facilities to all the people. There is overcrowding in the government hospitals. The ratio of the doctor is less and the number of patients are very much in these government hospitals. On the other hand, private hospitals offer highly expensive medical facilities and services to the patients, and they are mainly available in the urban areas. So it is not easy for all to access these private hospitals. Despite various measurements taken by the government making healthcare facilities and services available to all, it still remains a challenge for the government. Next is healthcare and equality. We have seen nowadays how private healthcare centers are increasing in the urban and semi-urban areas. And though the number of government healthcare centers are also increasing, but it is not proportionate to the increasing population. It means it is not as sufficient as the population is increasing day by day. And the cost of availing medical treatment facilities and medicines in private hospital is very high, as we read about this in the previous chapter also. A study reveals that 40% of the people who are admitted in private hospitals have to borrow or sell their properties and the possessions so that they can have the treatment in private hospitals. Taking advantage of the ignorance of the patients, the doctors of the private hospitals, they always prescribe or they suggest some medicines or injections which are not necessary to take. This practice is unethical and motivated by just because they want to earn more money. Another survey reveals that only around 20% of the people can afford the medicines and medical facilities offered by the private hospitals. The poor are the worst sufferers because they have to suffer very badly because they are not financially fit. If somebody falls ill in the family, in the poor family, moreover, the poor are more prone to illness as they are undernutrition and do not have access to clean drinking water. As we know, poor people, they do not have proper housing, especially those who live in slums. They do not have proper clean or safe drinking water, sufficient living area, clean surroundings. So they are prone to illness because they do not get nutrition diet also. The central and the state government of different regions sometimes arrange for medical camps to make cheap and essential health services available to the poor sections. But some governmental efforts are not enough. At many places in rural India, pregnant women have to travel many kilometers before they can get access to qualified medical care. Gender biases often come to the fore when it comes to providing medical treatment for women. Often the treatment of women is neglected by the family members and the medical centers also. Pregnant women are not provided adequate nutrition and primary health care. The conditions of the backward classes like the tribal and scheduled castes as regarding access to health care are even worse. In many areas inhabited by the tribals, there are very few healthcare centers. Even these do not function regularly. If they are having one or two healthcare centers, then those centers do not function regularly or do not have adequate medical facilities or doctors or the staff and equipments and all the things. Next is suggestions for improvement. You have read that it is the responsibility of the government to provide healthcare facilities to the people. So for this purpose, our government has started few policies like a national healthcare policy, the Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana, etc. Despite various efforts from the central government and governmental agencies, still large section of the society are not getting proper medical services and facilities in India. So government should do some improvements in the healthcare system. They should they should do public private collaboration. Government should collab public and private healthcare systems. It can definitely improve the situation. Government should invest more on public healthcare centers and they should increase the number of primary healthcare centers. It will help to overcome the problem of inadequate healthcare in remote and rural areas. Another important aspect of investing in healthcare sector is the development of electrical power to provide the medical facilities. Adequate power supply should be generated and distributed by the government to improve the facilities of the existing hospitals. Along with this, government should implement on plans and programs related to the supply of clean and safe drinking water, availability of food, education and women's health. The public healthcare center in the villages, they should be equipped with trained medical and paramedical staff, diagnostic facilities like sonography, x-ray, etc. Adequate and regular supply of medicinal drugs to these centers should be ensured. So by doing all these improvements, government can improve healthcare systems, especially on those areas like remote and rural areas where less facilities are available for the well-being of people.